4,000 years ago, Stone Age Britons raised this mysterious monument, Stonehenge.
He just did it with
Nobody
2
knows how
doors
they
and
did
2x6s and rope, and
how they moved. This
I think
man
people
swears
wanted it to
he's
be
cracked.
impossible to
He's
give it
building
more
his own
mysticism.
Stonehenge
Yeah, for
in his
sure.
Flint, Michigan backyard to prove it. Wally Wallington's
Michigan,
not a
okay, so it's a
scientist,
British documentary of a
but
Michigan
he knows
man. I
a
knew he
thing
was
or
American.
two about moving rocks.
That's a 300-pound block.
Whoa.
1,600-pound block.
Right?
Not too difficult.
1,600 pounds. That would
He's
take a
retired
bobcat, if a
construction
bobcat could move
worker
it.
whose passion is moving heavy items.
You look at
The myth of the
magnitude
puzzle of the
weights that he's
pyramids, how they
moving
were
around.
made.
It is really impressive, and he's not using any equipment or anything.
Because they said no human could move
In
a stone
playing
like
with
that.
blocks, Wally thinks he's discovered how Stonehenge was moved.
This is my
Wow.
first Stonehenge arch.
So
I
he
permanently
built that
put in
himself,
place.
by himself.
It's 3 blocks. They weigh over a ton each. I found a simple explanation for this. To move a block about the weight of a minivan would be to place a stone underneath it. And once I balance on it, I can spin it.
Guess that's as good as it gets for quality.
Of course,
Yeah.
for that spin, you've seen I didn't
But you
go
see how he
anywhere.
moved that? He moved it so
But I got 2
effortlessly
handles on my
just by
lever.
putting
Because
a
there's
tiny
just-
And I could
pebble in
place
it.
Yeah.
another stone on this
I'm
side.
not gonna lie, I get it. So as a woman, this is the kind of shit we have to figure out. I can't move anything heavy.
Yes.
I can't do one push-up. I did a push-up the other day. I was sore for 2 days. My muscles, I'm like, fuck, I can't. I've never been able to do it though.
You
Never
could, but
been
you
able
could
to
play
do
men's
it.
rugby.
Dude, there's no fucking way I wouldn't. I sometimes think,
equal.
no. Yeah, well, I could. I just doesn't want to. I'd rather just cook.
Yeah.
No, seriously, there's no fucking way. But I rearrange my house and I move heavy shit because of
You
I
find
just
the
have to
leverage
figure out how to
points.
pivot. Yes, exactly. You have to figure out. But they convinced me that you couldn't redo the pyramids because of the precision. But it looked like this guy had pretty fucking precise.
Right?
So this is
Oh my
10
God,
years
watch that
ago, and I'm
next.
just learning about this today. I love this.
Now, every time I spin a half rotation on each stone, I move the block horizontally.
So
The
think if you
distance
had
between the
thousands of
stones.
slaves and
For
people
my
to help
own
you do
output,
this,
Right.
you could move
Move
thousands
a
of these a
1-ton
day.
block 300 feet per hour.
Using this technique,
It's a big
he's
wrench.
moved everything
That's a car.
from
He's just
1-ton
spinning a
blocks
car
to buildings.
with his bare
He moved up
hands.
to a pole barn at one point, a 30 by 40 pole barn that he moved 300 feet for me, and it was more or less, put
So
up
he
to
moved
the
this whole
rule,
barn
and
by
he looked
himself.
at me and said, "Hey, can we move your barn?" And I said, "Sure, let's."
Can move barns. And Wally's betting it moves Stonehenge's 25
But humans
ton
couldn't have
rocks.
built the pyramids.
But
This is 19,200 pounds. Yeah, it's 128 cubic feet of concrete.
he'll put one of his theories to the test and try to stand this 19,200 pound block by himself.
I've tried to do this without
It's
any
just
mechanical
leverage and
machinery at
sand
all.
and
I've used mostly sticks and
counterweights. Like it's just
stones
using your brain. Basic physics.
for my equipment. No pulleys, no hoist, no metal levers.
This
So he
block,
just gets
3
one
feet
end up
off the
enough that he can
ground.
put a board under it
In
and
order
it
to
moves
move it
weight.
up to this
Lifts
point, I
the
just
other
rock
end
the
up,
block
puts a
back
board
and
under it, so
forth,
it gets
adding
one
weight
board
to that
higher
end.
every time.
And that opens a gap on this side.
So if you
And
just had a bunch
slide
of people,
board
they
in.
could run from side to side and really raise it
Then
quick.
I
Yeah.
add the weight to and slide a board in on this
The
end.
next board in.
It's
do it again.
amazing that it's
This
not
shoring
crushing the
box acts
wood.
like a jack, slowly
Wood's
raising
super
the
strong.
block. It's 3 feet off the ground, but tomorrow is the big experiment. Standing it up. To
How does
watch
this guy not have his own
Grandad
channel on
lift a block
Discovery?
the weight
Oh,
of 2
shit.
bulldozers.
It's ready.
Because they don't want people to know it's not
Here's
that
how
hard to
it's
do. It's not a
supposed to work.
mystery.
The first thing I'm going to do here is release this temporary shoring I have set and come over here, release some of my counterweights. The easiest way I can explain this is this is just a big teeter-totter, and I got the big kid on that end, and he's going to go down, this end's going up. One day I got thrown over top of a block, and a couple times I had the blocks roll off the top and almost land on my feet. One time I knocked myself out cold on the concrete. So it's been challenging.
But he's just learning how to do it, right? So if you had skilled people who did this
Yes.
1,000 times a day, they'd have all the kinks worked out, everything.
The sand,
Put in a little water for lubricant so it
the sand
slides
will
better.
wash out and the block will start coming down. Okay, finally, she's between the lines, guys. Looks good.
So a team
Wow.
of 10,000 people couldn't build a pyramid?
Raised
Fuck
a
off.
massive block using a technique so simple that Wally believes it must have been used to raise Stonehenge.
If they were to use this technique to raise the stones at Stonehenge, I believe they could have got it done with a lot smaller crew than anybody has imagined before.
It
Yeah.
won't be long before this backyard is a little more crowded.
This is my first block in the circle. I plan to have 8 of them standing on end like that, all up 11 feet in height. The next one may
They look
be
like
a little
Mormons.
heavier.
I'm guessing
We're
he's
gonna
Mormon.
keep going a little further.
Look, I look like a cop.
Yeah.
Dude, wait a minute. How far down into the ground was it? And will it fall over? That's all stuff that freaks me out.
No, that's how he put the bottom of it with sand, so he could just spray the water in there. The
Challenging.
sand would wash away, and it settled down into the foot perfectly where it needed to be. And then they just put sand in around it so it can't move side to side.
Oh. That's amazing. This guy's dope. Stonehenge built by one man with his bare hands. Wally Wallington.